Now, I hear this a lot, that the parable of the talents or the minas in Luke is about using your gifts for God. But Luke's gospel especially paints a very different picture. Let's start with this first, that a talent is a measure of currency, not like we use the word talents today. It was a massive sum. In the time that this was written, it would have been about 20 years' wages. Even the mina in Luke was about 3 months' pay. And who's hearing this story? It was Galilean peasants barely scraping by while wealthy landowners and nobles got fat off of their work. To add to this, profit in the ancient world wasn't based on a clever invention or a good business plan, especially on this grand of a scale. Profit in terms of talents, or even minas, came only by things forbidden by Torah. Heavy interest lending, black market trade, tax farming. That's exactly what this master wants the servants to do. You are correct in saying that this story never talks about the first two being shady. In the context of who originally heard these parables, it was more than evident. This parable speaks of a master who reaps where he didn't sow, who collects money that he didn't work for, money that wasn't his to collect. This master takes from the poor and gives to the rich, even saying that the rich deserve to get richer while the poor deserve to get poorer. Finally, in this passage in Luke, we don't just see any noble. Luke actually makes it clear and explicit who he's referring to. This nobleman in the story goes off to a far country to be crowned as king, which is exactly what Herod Archelaus did, going to Rome to receive his crown. The Jews even petition Rome, please don't make him our king. And so, upon returning, Herod slaughtered 3,000 Jews in front of the temple to silence any resistance of his injustice. So when the master says, bring my enemies here and slaughter them in front of me, that is a direct echo of what Archelaus did, not God. Now let's look at the so-called wicked servant. He does the faithful thing. In fact, the Mishnah actually says that the right way to keep entrusted funds safe was to bury them. And then he even goes a step further and calls out the master for his corruption and injustice to his face. And the master doesn't deny it. He just punishes that servant and takes what little he has left and gives it to the wealthiest among them. That's not God's justice. That's Herod's politics. So yes, we should steward our gifts and talents, and we should use them for God and the furtherance of the kingdom. But this parable isn't teaching hustle. It's exposing corrupt rulers and economies. It's teaching us to resist those systems, even though it's dangerous. Because this master in Luke is far more like Herod Archelaus than the father of Jesus.